Tina O here from Tina O Life on 25 Nights to Close 50. This is night 16. Night 16. 9 sleeps left until I touch 51. Those of you who are just meeting me, I'm a story coach, a story keeper, a holder, a listener. I connect narrative to impulses, if you will. And my whole work in life is what I call story from the core, or how that started was this, honestly, like total like tired exhaustion of stupid marketing. Like honestly, markety schmarkety, like I just got tired of stupid marketing. I got tired of honestly, I know that sounds like story from the core. I will connect the dots. Story from the core evolved from exhaustion of stupid marketing and stupid selling and selling to the lowest common denominator. And what I mean by that is like pain-based marketing, um, obvious marketing, which is different from easy marketing. You want to make it easy for people. You want to make it easy for people to know what you do and to book you. Like you want that. But stupid marketing is actually like playing to people's neuroses, selling to people's neuroses, selling to people's, fears, selling to people's pain. That's an emotional like scratch that wound so people take their wallet out. Ugh, gross. I just got so sick of it. And I got sick of this is about 7 years ago. I just got so sick of of I recognize it's effective in terms of it gets people to click the button. I get it. I get that it works, but it's not sustainable and it certainly is not nourishing. It certainly is not reciprocal. It's definitely not relational. It's totally transactional. And so story from the core evolved out of typing in who's talking about authenticity. Might have been more than 7 years ago. I don't remember now. Who's talking about authenticity and authentic marketing? La la la. That's where it all began. And a couple people came to mind. Philip McKernan came to mind. He had a great talk. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then from there, it evolved into this: what is selling from your core? Or what is story? That moved into story. What is story from your core? And I'm not talking about storytelling as a way to sell shit, because that makes me mad too. It's everywhere. Like it's everywhere now. Like now we're actually spinning story in order to sell stuff. Story from the core is speaking on the narrative, is the narrative on the impulse. Story from the core is language on the desire to connect. Story from the core can be, when you're crafting something for the public, it can be within a structure, beginning, middle, end, for sure. You want to take responsibility that you're wanting to I'm wanting to connect with you. I'm wanting to be of service to you. Therefore, I want whatever it is that I'm offering to land somewhere. But in the middle, it's the risk of being willing to be misunderstood. Am I willing to be misunderstood? Am I willing to speak right on the impulse that I don't even know? I haven't even formulated yet. It's literally like coming out of my lips as I'm saying it. Am I willing to do that within, a structure of beginning, middle, and end? And can I sell that way? So that's kind of how Story from the Core started. And what I wanted to share with you today has very little to do with that, but I trust the story. If you heard me say that before, I don't trust you. I don't trust me. I trust the story. I trust the emergence in this place. And I'm just going to backtrack for a sec because my brain says some of you might be thinking, yeah, that's about speaking on your inspiration. No, it's not about speaking on the shiny thing that's now lit up in your head that's got this excitement around it. And not that it can't be exciting, but it's actually speaking on a super rooted part in you, like speaking on those roots in this emergent place. So, where I was going to go with this, and where I think I'm still going, is one of my learnings in turning 50 this year. And that's what these 25 nights to close 50 is all about. What are the ahas that I had this year? One of the big ahas that I had this year is that all of the pieces of me are not individual. I am the collection of all the pieces. And what I have done is every time I find a piece, I have made that piece. Oh, here's the answer. Oh, here's the answer. I'm going to give you a really big story, if you will, example of it. When I was writing Oh My God, I was exploring different essence pieces of me. And each of those essence pieces make up the whole. But every time I would find something new, I would go, oh my God, this is it. This is the piece I've been waiting for. So, for example, there is the character of Christina, which is me in this piece. And there's 4 dream sequences in Oh My God. And the essence of her as Christina in this dream sequence comes through as what I call the lavender woman. And the lavender woman, so if you've done any writing with me, I often play in the conversation of voice. So it's like, and I have a visual of who's sitting at the table with you. So you may be the author writing, but who's the wisdom sitting at the table with you that you're listening to? And to track that and allow that voice to have some room on the page. So in my show, which is theatrical, I could actually have different characters talking. If you're writing a book, those voices usually eventually around draft 4 start to merge into one voice. But in a show, I kept them, or in Oh My God, I kept them as separate characters, if you will, or essence pieces. And so one of them is Lavender Woman. And when I discovered Lavender Woman, she arrived to me. She had actually been arriving to me for years before, but I didn't know that. When she arrived to me as I was writing this piece, I had this visual of this woman who carries a basket, who collects lavender, who stands by the ocean side on stones. And of course, because I love Outlander, she's Claire. I'm exaggerating, but just so you can get a sense of it, like the visual of that part of me is like a Claire character from Outlander. But the key piece is she's Lavender Woman. And when she landed, there was another vision that came. There's a dream sequence that you can hear in Oh My God, where excuse me, where I'm inviting the scribble girl to come and sit with me, and I make her a bowl of soup that she refuses because she's so fucking angry. She will not eat the soup. And I say, and nor should she, because she doesn't trust me yet. But it's the lavender woman who is me, Christina, who's standing there stirring the soup and then offering the soup to Christiana in this hut with a dusty floor on a bed of straw. So I don't know how you create, but how I create is this, and from the story from the core place, is these visuals come to me and I can feel the root of them. Back to something I said earlier about when we speak truth, if you will, or when we speak from the core, there's a landing in the way that lives in us. It simply lands. And I mentioned earlier that It lands and yet it's surprising. Like for me, because I'm the narrative, the words is literally on the impulse. It's often a surprise, but it lands. And that's how I know it's true for myself or when I'm tracking with a client. There's like a landing rather than a friction piece. So this lavender woman arrived and then I wrote into her and I wrote these dream sequences and when I got up and I opened the show with every morning I get up and I light 3 fires. That character is like the present day me, present day voice, totally feels different and yet within me is lavender woman. So my aha is all those pieces, but the where it's pointing to is, and goes back to the story from the core and selling from the core and stupid selling and all that. Okay. So what my brain wants to do, and maybe it does for you too, is every time something new popped up for me, when it's connected to a quandary I'm in, maybe a pain point I have. So for me in the show, it's this woman who's trying to figure out why she's so self-conscious, right? So when Lavender Woman showed up, there's a part of me that wanted to hold on to that information, like that information is the truth. In fact, not only is that information the truth, it's the pointy end of the ship. It is the ultimate truth. Oh my God, now I can rest because I found Lavender Woman. The aha is one, the addiction. I think I've used that a few times in these 25 nights, is the addiction I have had to hooking into an answer so that I can rest. The next step of the aha is hooking into any answer will never give me rest because the answer is the integration or the wholeness of all that is anyway. There is no one particle that becomes the answer. It's all the particles that are. And there's no answer because there's actually no question. I don't know if you're tracking with me, but like that's the big aha. It's like, guess what? There is no question. The answer's right here. Just live it. So isn't it amazing that that essence of me, the lavender woman, showed up or that I saw her? And that's all that it is. I saw her. I saw her. Look at that. Now she's alive in me. Ah, look at that. But she's not the answer. And I connect the dots there. When you watch, oh my God, there's the whole witch burning scene. And I had a very profound and tender and careful and generative that some of you may call a past life session. I'm not attached to the labels of it, but most definitely I went on a journey into something I don't want to name and put in a box, but I definitely went to a witch part of a story and being burned at the stake. I'm not going to call it a past life. I'm not going to, because I don't need to label it that way. But the aha is as soon as that story emerged and I could feel that root, not an inspiration, not a grasp, not a clever understanding, but I could feel, whoa, there's a visual here of being burned at the stake. And I looked over and in this visual, I saw another woman being hanged. And I saw another woman being hanged. And I saw people out here. The tendency, the adrenaline tendency, the addiction is to go that past life. And again, I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying that it is. That past life makes so much sense now. Now I know why I do blah, blah, blah. Now I know why I do blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing wrong with understanding either. The aha is just as the lavender woman presented to me, and I could say, "Ah, lives inside of me." And I can draw on that. And when she needs to come forth, she will. And when she wants to come forth, she will. And this witch burning piece, truthfully, actually felt like it closed. And in creating the show, whatever that story is, um, and was closed, I don't need to draw on it. But when I closed that story, I saw myself pulling new sticks, new new wood around the places where these women were burned. And in the placement of those sticks and wood, there was a peacemaking with that story. And so what I draw on now is not the pain or the terror or the outrage or the injustice. The essence of that story that lives in me, I now pull on the peacemaking, the completion, and the absolute wisdom of that moment and the acknowledgement of that moment. It's like it rooted. So the aha is again back to sometimes my brain wants to make all the particles of the various clues, the various answers, wants to make that like the most important thing so I can rest in my body and my nervous system can rest and it's chasing of answers. And the reality is there actually isn't any question. I'm already whole. I'm already complete. And there are particles of me that reveal themselves to me when I'm ready to hold them and know them and be with them. So I can put down the addiction to answers. And I can even put down the addiction to questions. And I can just trust that all of me is already here. And as they pieces of me show up, I can greet those pieces, embody them, love them, be them, because I already am them. So I'm Tina O, and this is 25 Nights to Close 50. This is night number 16. I'm going to call this night All the Things. All the things. All the things. Beyond my labels, questions, answers, beyond the chase. I am all the things. Thanks for listening. If you haven't seen Oh My God yet, which was my 50th gift, 50th present to myself, you can see the link down below and you can watch that. And if you want to come with me for 50 nights of stories beginning January 31st as I make my way to Ireland to close the story loop that Oh My God opened, you can sign up there too. And I will share those stories with you very soon. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow night.